You're listening to the ReachCast show, your weekly stop for the latest and greatest in the PlanetSide 2 universe and its community.
What's up, everybody? It is September 23rd. You're listening to episode 52, the ReachCast show. Proud members of your Access Global Network and the Podcast Network. It's our birthday, bitches. I'm your host, Adam, a.k.a. Torx. With me tonight are my other birthday guests, Tom, a.k.a. Knox. No! Oh, shit. And Mark, a.k.a. the Derringer.
Sorry, I'm eating birthday cake.
Delicious, man.
I'm already drinking. I've got my celebration bourbon going, baby.
I got my Cabernet right here. It's delicious.
I just finished my birthday cake.
I got bullet bourbon. It's freaking awesome.
This week, we are brought to you by the atomic element tellurium, and also by
There's no R in the beginning of that word.
tellurium. And put another R in.
It's not unobtainium.
Unobtainium. And by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on ReachCastShow.com. We played with a whole bunch of outfits this week. Dragon Purple, Smoke Imperial, Reach Rage Quit, Azure Twilight 666, Devil Dogs, and NCSO.
Yeah, I'm sorry I forgot to pose a bunch of you guys on Saturday. I dropped the ball. I ended up seeing a movie, and then I was busy.
So what's in store for the Tonight Show? We have a little F&O info. We have some Command Center info. The World Domination Series info. And a bunch of other stuff. Calls. Just good community questions, feedback. Whole bunch of jazz. With that being said, we would be going to patch notes, but instead we have a little montage for you from Mr. Derringer here. And away
Enjoy.
we go.
You're listening to the episode 1 of the ReachCast show. Episode 5, episode 10, episode 15, episode 20, episode 25, episode 30, episode 35, episode 40, live episode 50, the big 50.
The dark side of ReachCast.
Play that for like one of the things like. We'll do everything we can for you. We are here for the PlanetSide 2 community, and if you need us in any way, shape, or form, we will do our best to facilitate that.
I recently, on the PlanetSide 2 Twitch channel, saw you bailing out of your aircraft. I still don't understand this.
I still find it odd that small child is the only one allowed to swear on this show.
Also, we are brought to you by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on ReachCastShow.com, our new website. I don't think there's any other final things. I think that's it.
I think you're just going to talk about how great I was, and then we're going to end the show.
Alright, so that's the end of the show.
He's awesome, man. He loves to shoot people with his flasher.
Johnny Level 1 Sniper wants to sort out his...
Johnny Level 1 Sniper just spent $20 in station cash. What are you going to do now?
Johnny Level 1 Sniper wants to sort out his flash with Brave Punchable.
Johnny Level 1 Sniper doesn't contribute to the game, is worthless. Timo was taken.
You laugh at that one every time. It's
know.
not that funny.
No! He laughed at it like it's...
It's some inside joke in my head, I guess. But...
What in God's name was that?
Dust devil. My mouse pad. You know the dog doesn't bark that bad? The cat. The cat makes the raunchiest bark. Anything else? Did we miss anything there, or do you have anything to add?
No, dude, I think you got it. I'm just waiting for you to complain about everything like you always do.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't like such and such, blah, blah, blah.
I've played my Vano a lot more this week than my NC. Even though I said it was going to NC. I know. My good was the ReachCat interview of Matt Higbee. In case you guys couldn't tell, this was my baby.
It was good work. Your idea, you put the whole thing together. Good work.
I'm going to kill right now.
We are proud members of the regular out of practice. All right, let's do this again. We have 2 calls. The first one from Wolf07.
Hello, ReachCast. This is 447 from Miller saying awesome sauce is still awesome.
Here's the exact quote. That was God damn it. Have fun with your hobo babies.
No, but seriously, can we start recording?
Did you finish disposing of that body? Did it go? I think it's yes. Okay.
Said yep.
Okay.
This is hard. I am absolutely never, ever going to be satisfied and always ask for more and more and more.
Glad to see that Higby appreciates the show as much as he tells us he does.
Jeez. Low blow.
Alrighty.
So yeah, just a little sampling of the last 52 episodes.
I don't even remember talking about you disposing of that body. I didn't think that we were on the air for that.
I'm glad you were recording my vacuum cleaner. My rant about cat farts.
Yeah. Alrighty. On to community briefing.
Attention, soldiers! Get your butts in here for this week's community briefing.
Alright, we've had enough fun for the night. It's time to get back to business. So, FNO, I think episode 45, if I remember correctly. They've fallen behind us. Shame. But...
Calling everybody out tonight, jeez.
Yeah. Malorne was on there with Maggie, and they had a pretty good time to play with TRG. They discussed a bit more about the Vote Domination series, and they also want to do a devs versus devs community clash, which I think should happen.
I agree. Let's get that on the schedule.
How does Torx feel about that? How many outfits do we have in the lineup?
We have enough. But I'm willing to throw that in. I mean, we can, by all means.
I'm just gonna say this about dev versus dev community clash. Unless they're gonna throw it, it needs to be TR versus NC.
No. It needs to be TR versus NC versus VS. The first time we can do 3v3, all three, we got to bring the devs in. That's my suggestion.
I guess the first match we do on the private server would be, it would be fitting if it was 3 dev teams versus each other. So,
can you imagine the trash that we get talked on Twitter?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
I want comms to be in the event. I want to hear comms.
Oh yeah, it'd be amazing.
Just like Clegg. Yeah, I just added this rock over in the corner here that you can hide behind.
I just killed everyone and booted everyone within a 10-meter proximity of me inside this tower. Go ahead and come on in.
No God mode, and that Higby wouldn't be allowed to play, too.
Why would Higby not be able to play? Why would that matter?
He would cheat.
Oh, it's assumed that he would just cheat no matter what?
But yeah, it was immediately after they said no God mode. They were like, yeah, and Higby won't be able to play.
He just can't help himself. He has to cheat.
I guess.
Nice. Alright, well, I guess, we've now just on the fly scheduled the first, dev community clash on the private server once we get that up, so.
Come on, I want to see Vanu lose someday. With Trammell behind the lead, this should happen.
Oh, man.
That's a low
It's
blow.
just right and left this morning, or tonight.
Alright. Speaking of him, we have Command Center that also occurred, which we missed last week. It was actually 2 weeks ago, and it was released on YouTube today, and I was like, oh crap, I didn't watch it. So I watched it, and it was pretty typical Command Center shenanigans, and if you liked that, it was enjoyable. I laughed several times out loud at work, especially during the fam spam with the flash animation. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I was laughing pretty hard. It was funny. And they did talk to quote-unquote Jamie Ryan. Well, Jamie's not his real name. I can't remember his real name. But he's the VP of Tech. And he explained that the idea behind their new little video documenting system that they're going to be editing and releasing to the public so that we as players and fans can get a bit of insight into their process for OMFG, Operation Make Faster Game.
Cool. Nice.
The first video of that is actually out already and on the PlanetSide 2 forums if you want to go take a look at it.
Well, I am definitely going to go take a look at it, and we should put a link.
I watched it earlier today. It's only about 7 minutes long, but it's there's some good stuff in there.
Cool. And
it was mainly Ryan Elam talking and giving an overview of what they do and how they do it, and they were bringing people into a room, and they were just briefly going over what changes they had found and things they were going to make. It was definitely interesting.
Nothing super techy, but...
No. Well, yeah, something really high-techy. I didn't understand a damn word any of the programmers were saying.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy that then. I'm going to check it out.
But it was interesting nonetheless.
Cool. And then K-Dragons. Anyone who watches it will know what that was about.
Nice.
Great.
Did you guys watch it?
I didn't make it to the end.
Well, you should watch it because K-Dragons, they are something else. It's very Tremel.
Nice. Check that out.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'll have to check that out too. Well, let's talk World Domination Series or World Domination Series for those of us in the U.S. Week 1 of the World Domination Series is officially over, and the TR have taken the overall prize of a 3-day, 50% experience boost. As of this recording, they have already been awarded, and you just need to log into a TR character that participated in last week's event, and you will get that boost. So looking at some of the numbers, I crunched them earlier today. They've already flipped it over for the new week, so I had to do some napkin math to figure this out. So if my numbers are off, they're probably not off by much. Either way, TR scored a total of 260,002 points. VS were closest next with only 203,000. And NC just barely cracked 195,000 points. So TR absolutely destroyed the other two factions. There were only 2 servers where TR didn't win. Connery, VS won, and Series, the new conglomerate, won. So congrats to those 2 servers for holding back the TR onslaught.
Can't tell you how proud I am right now.
You know what that reminds me? On FNO, they did talk about that too. And they talked about potentially giving the losers the XP boost and giving the winners, what's it called? Cosmetic stuff.
That would be good.
Because people were saying it's not fair that the winners get the boost to get even better. And a 3-day XP boost is not going to make a huge difference. I think the bigger problem is it's worldwide, and several servers are TR complete dominated.
Well, let's talk about that. Briggs had the highest TR score with 42,000 points in a single week. And I mean, VS and NC weren't even close.
Reminds me, I need to go to Briggs.
It seems like TR is going to win every time, and some people are saying, well, they don't care as long as their server wins, their faction wins on their server.
Well, that may be true, but from looking at the preseason, the numbers carry over from week to week.
Oh, well then, TR, congratulations, you already won.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations, you already won. I like that.
Closest is VS, and they already have a 57,000 point deficit. And I mean,
we've looked at some pop stuff, and it's not that the pops aren't even. It's that TR dominates at least 2 servers.
Yeah, TR's pop is a little bit over the top.
57,000 points in a month. I mean, Briggs almost got that by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of giving the losers the bonus. So that would be interesting to see if it comes through. And I know that if you head over to Reddit, the decals that they're going to be awarding have already been data mined, and they're out there on Reddit if you want to take a look at them.
Nice.
That's all I got for the World Domination Series.
All right, the last piece of the community briefing that we have for this week is the community question of the week. Last week we asked, does the esports aspect of PlanetSide 2 enhance or detract from the game as a whole? And we had a number of different responses, as you can imagine. It was a fair amount of responses we received. I would say a lot of them lean more towards it does not help the game. Also, and kind of in line with that, in parallel, there was a lot of people who said it would help. It does help attract other players, which is kind of my opinion. But they're concerned that the development time that would be involved with things like Nexus and other things to get the competitive MLG aspect or esports aspect, I should say, going could be better spent elsewhere. I mean, I like the Nexus a lot, so I don't...
Well, and they're building it into the Intercontinental Lattice when that finally gets implemented.
Correct, yeah. I mean, it's not like it's only going to be for esports. So,
right.
I think there was a grand mix, as you can imagine, from the community. There was a good video linked by Deadliest Moon. I'm going to link into the show notes that kind of talks about esports in general in the United States and why sometimes it can work and why sometimes right now it doesn't work, or what things need to change in order for it to work. And that I thought was very informative. I don't have a huge esports background, so I'm not going to claim that I do. I think that esports could help PlanetSide 2 a lot, as long as it's, I guess, implemented, as long as we have enough of a player base once it's implemented, so that we have competition. Competition breeds, fun times, and a lot of people really enjoy that part, and I think it could bring some more people to the game. So I know that's kind of bland response, but it is my opinion, so whatever. What do you guys think, Knox, Derringer?
I like what esports can do for a game. The only fear I have is making balance changes to the game based on competitive play and it affecting the real world. And I mean, this is good. Like, I hate bringing this one up, but after community clashes and Vanu having won every single one of them, I have heard personally many complaints about Zoe being completely overpowered compared to the other two max units.
I think every faction admits that Zoe currently, in its current state, is overpowered.
Well, and this is where I'm going with it. In that the devs have said time and time again now that the stats say in the real world that Zoe's fine. And this is a game meant to be played in the real world. That's why there's not going to be private servers that teams can practice on and scrim on, and that they have to do that in the real world, right? And I don't want to see... I mean, as much as my NC bias wants to see Vanu get nerfed to the ground, I don't want to see that happen because Vanu win every single competitive match. I mean, if Vanu win every match in MLG, just like they're winning every match in Community Clash, it's going to call for a nerf. I just don't see any other thing to do about it, but I don't like the idea of that affecting the actual world and what's going on there. But I think it'll help. It'll draw players in, and that's good.
I'll chime in now. I agree with what Knox was just saying. I thought you were going to go with a WoW reference. Because
I refrained.
Because that's where I thought you were going, and that's the first thing I thought of as well.
PvE versus PvP.
PvE versus PvP. I wasn't...
Rogue, and I don't like... Yeah, I was refraining.
Well, so I won't go down that route either, but that's my fear as well, because it's the exact same scenario. What we saw in WoW, I hope doesn't happen to my favorite game that's out right now, PlanetSide 2. But I do agree that having esports in the long run should not hurt the player base. It should only bring players who haven't experienced it into the game. And that's about all I'll say on the topic.
Well, players that don't care about it. There's plenty of big, strong outfits out there that don't give a flying crap about esports. So it's not like you have to join... it's not like every big outfit, you have to join some insignificant outfit to have fun in the game because they're not worried about esports. All the biggest outfits is Azure, not all.
666, that's the biggest example.
Because you have Goater, but I think they're interested in it.
Azure Twilight's pretty big.
Azure Twilight, and they don't care about it. And so there's plenty of good, fun outfits out there that don't care about esports. So I don't think it'll hurt in that regard.
I mean, that's kind of what we started Community Clash for, is to allow non-esports teams to find a fun place to compete, just for fun, for the community. Yeah. That's
organized outfits to have a bit of fun without interference from...
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. I love this game, and I love both sides, the esports teams and the non-esports teams. I think everybody should have their own place to play and be able to enjoy it in their own way. I just hope that esports doesn't overshadow the priority of esports doesn't overshadow the rest of the game for the development team. I've not seen that but I'm just saying that's my own personal concern, and I hope that's the case. Hope that's not the case. So, that being said, this week's question for the community is: after 1 year, what is your favorite ReachCast moment you've seen or heard on the show? What's your favorite?
Some of them have seen us.
I guess that's true. Some of you have seen us. So what's your favorite moment?
That could very well qualify.
I agree.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I just want to remind everyone.
I was going to say, I expect a lengthy Tommy call this week.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have anything else? Can I go on a ReachCast to you?
Let's do it.
Okay. ReachCast to you it is.
Jenny, what are you doing in there?
I'm playing Planet Side 2, Mom.
Are you decent?
Yeah, Mom. What do you want?
You got a letter from the school.
Well, let me see it.
Open it up.
Jeez, I am, Mom.
Well, what's it say?
It says,
Congratulations. You've been accepted into the ReachCast University.
cool.
My baby is growing up.
Yeah, Steve's wife her voice still reminds me of Married with Children, no matter how many times I hear that, like every time.
I almost put that into the montage.
Oh, yeah?
You saying she sounds like Married with Children.
Oh.
Yeah. Was it Pam Bundy? Was it
Peg.
Peg.
Oh. Yeah. So, this ReachCast University is for SOE, not for players. And this occurred to me as I went to Clegg's favorite place, Dunkin' Dizzles. And this guy, I was wearing my Planet Side 2 shirt, because I'm a boss like that, and I don't give a crap. And this dude's like, oh, Planet Side 2. I'm like, yeah, did you play? And he's like, no, I can't because my PC sucks. I'm waiting for the PS4. November 17th, I'll be playing. And this isn't the first time it happened, but this time it just clicked with me, is that SOE, I hope your ish is straight, because a lot of people are waiting for PS4, and if it does not run on PS4, like it currently has problems on PC, you're going to lose a lot of players. I think a lot of players that don't play now, like I think a lot of this population drop-off that people have seen and we saw in some charts has been not people quitting the game because they don't enjoy it, it's because they can't run it, and they're waiting for PS4. And so, just to know my experience wearing my Planet Side 2 shirt and talking
In your face!
to no, I'm not saying it like
I'm just
talking to
joking.
random people that I don't know. In all honesty, I have no idea who these people are. Oh, they serve me donuts.
It was the guy behind the counter?
Waiting for PS4 to play this game. So it needs to run.
Yeah, we've heard a couple emails like that too. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have phrased it that way.
I'm not trying to be an asshole, okay?
So did you
nice about it. It's really hard.
Did you give the guy a dog tag?
It's not like he. Yeah,
Shut up.
I'm just picturing Tom rolling around.
No one works. I'll give him a dog tag.
I'm picturing Tom rolling around, dog tags all around his neck. He's like, "Oh, you play Planet Side? Here you go." Just tossing them out to people.
Well, little known fact about me, I roll with a full set of dog tags in my car just in case I run into a Planet Side 2 player.
Get the out of here.
I'm serious.
Oh my god.
That's actually a good idea, dude. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna go grab a bag tomorrow, throw them at random cars while I drive.
No, I have one of each in my car, and I'm just waiting to run into somebody who plays.
What happens if you run into two TR guys? What are you gonna do? Here's one for you.
Gonna fight over NC.
You have one. You should probably bring two of each.
Maybe I should just bring everything I have, like 52 of each, because I'm sitting on a mound of them here. Come on.
Next time I see that dude that works near me that has NC thing on the back of his car, I'm gonna throw a dog tag at his car.
Right through the windshield.
Here you go!
Well, I run through the local college here, and I always hope to see somebody. I hope to pass people talking about Planet Side 2.
What kind of age demographic bias is that? All right.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
What is that supposed to mean?
I'm just joking. All right.
You run through the college too if you could run.
If I could run, what? Am I somehow gimped now? Like I can't run? Like
Well, you're
Never
not
mind.
a professional runner like me.
A professional runner. Okay.
The guy who's
Okay, Michael Johnson. Thanks a lot.
Oh, I beat some 15-year-old in the marathon the other day.
I did. I smoked it.
I'm glad we're bragging about beating out 15-year-olds in marathons. It's, man.
That's me just like, oh yeah, I was at the gym, and there was this, 12-year-old, and he could only bench 80 pounds. What a bitch. Wow.
All right, let's go on to community clash.
Prepare yourselves!
This is the Planet Side 2 Community Clash.
Oh my god, when you said that a second ago, Tom, for some reason, what picture in my head is T-Ray at the gym lifting. He looks over as like a 15-year-old trying to do a squat, and he's going like 100 pounds over, and he's looks at me just gives him a slight nod. He's like, bitch. Just keeps
No,
bitch.
Command Center, all he did was brag about beating Raquel, a girl, at running. He did it like the whole episode. He's like, yeah, Raquel, I'm better than you.
For the record,
well, she's a sweetheart. She does marketing things, I believe, but it was T-Ray just laid into her the whole Command Center.
For the record, my 5K time was better than T-Ray's. Just want to throw that out there.
Oh,
man. You got second in the group.
Yeah, I would have gotten second in that group. That's all I'm
Maggie
saying.
got last. Did you beat Maggie?
If
he beat T-Ray, he beat Maggie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wait a second.
All right, let's talk.
I've had too much bourbon in me.
Let's talk Community Clash. On last week's episode of PS2 Community Clash, we saw Rage Quit and Sturm Grenadier face off in a 24v24 battle on the Nexus. For many people watching the live stream, this was their first view of the Nexus, and Nox, I have to say, you did an excellent job. You went over each base, full flyover, showed points, you even discussed possible strategies, so excellent job on that. I was very impressed when I watched back. So
those bases are pretty sweet.
I do think before next week's show, we're going to have to do a flyover of that middle base to make sure we describe that one, too.
Yeah,
it's pretty sweet.
I don't know. It was, well,
Well, in the fight we saw...
Right, because we're going over all the bases this time, so we definitely need to.
Yeah. So in this battle, we saw Sturm Grenadier take an early 23-19 lead at halftime, and this was on the back of some really stellar Reaver play above Bitter Gorge Garrison. They absolutely decimated a whole bunch of Liberators as they came in right at the start of the match. Just explosions everywhere. The second half saw...
Galaxies.
The Galaxies, you're right, I'm sorry. The second half saw a mostly indoor battle over Arizek Satcom Hub, and this was really dominated by max play. So a lot of talk about Zoe being OP was centered around this point. And even though Sturm Grenadier actually captured the base, Rage Quit still eked out a 3-point victory, 43-40. In the end, hats off to both outfits for a close match, and we can't wait to see each of them on a future event. Anything else you guys want to add about...
Yeah, so I have to apologize for the rule faux pas in that I did not understand, or no, I did not think that a team could capture a base and then lose. After that first half, I was like, well, this just stayed on one base. It didn't even get captured. There's no way that a team captures a base and loses. Well, it reiterated that thought in my head. And Sturm Grenadiers captured a base and lost. And that being said, they lost because they went after the next base, which I can't remember the name. I'm not going to pretend to remember the name. But they went after the next base to try and get that because the bases are linked on lattice. And if they had gotten that in a capture point, then Rage Quit would not have been able to go after Arizek. But in the process of sending basically everyone, they left the points undefended, weren't able to capture it themselves, and Rage Quit took points, basically securing the victory because there was only one or two clash points left at that point.
Yeah, that all happened around the 10-minute mark.
And so my thought is like, oh, it's kind of lame that they captured the territory and lost because they were actually able to hold it while Sturm Grenadiers, that is, while Rage Quit did a very good job on the base as a whole, but Sturm Grenadiers kept them from being able to get it. Then Sturm Grenadiers had a really good strategy. They surrounded the base, took out all the Sunderers, then went in, took the points, and that's what gave them the base. But they should have left some people behind. This is just basic. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk too much trash, but it's kind of basic battlefield multi-point tactics. Is when you push forward, you leave guys behind to defend the current points to make sure nothing happens, especially in a lattice system where once a single point starts contending, it doesn't even have to be taken, they would not be able to take the base because of lattice, the way lattice mechanics work. So I feel like they made a bit of mistake, despite the fact that they lost on sort of a technicality. I still feel that Rage Quit probably deserved it. They understood the rules, and they went after a capture point so that their other base couldn't be taken, and it worked out for them. So I still think I still think there should have been a bonus maybe for capturing the actually capturing the base and making it theirs.
So counterpoint to your argument, they did leave about a squad and a half, if not, I think about
No, they left people in the territory, not on the capture points, though.
They had a squad inside the base.
I didn't see it. All it takes capture point.
We were following them, and the majority of them were outside hunting the Sunderers that were being rolled up by Rage Quit.
Oh, I thought they still had the number in the base.
I remember looking at the map and not seeing anyone on the actual points.
Remember, we followed that one Rage Quit Sunderer who parked itself all the way at the back of the base and then flooded the sea point and captured it before they could even get somebody over to the next base.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was on the Sturm Grenadier platoon, and they didn't have anyone on the capture points at that particular time, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I was.
They made a blunder, and while I think there just should have been a bounty for actually securing the base.
I think they were under the assumption there was something like that, and I think that.
This
week we changed it up.
Second grade test you take where they say, "All right, read the directions before you do the test," and then you go down to the last direction and it says, "Don't do anything."
It says, sign your name and flip the page over.
Yeah,
Why don't
do any of the previous directions, and then you see kids furiously erasing all of the stuff they did.
Why don't you tell people about the rule set for this week? The difference now versus last week.
Well, okay, so the rule set this week, we're taking it back a notch. We're keeping it pretty simple, and it's going to be a 2-point award for capturing a base with 3 points, or capturing Nexus Alpha or Nexus Omega. And the reason those are worth 2 points is because they have essentially 3 points with the shield generators. And then you have, and I saw some discussion on Twitter saying people thought it should be 3 points because it's even harder to take. And the reason I disagree with that is because despite the fact that there are shield generators and that makes it harder to take, it's still a single point base at only 4 minutes to flip. So I don't think it's worth 3 points because the team still has less time to try and take it back.
Yeah, but the argument there, counter argument, would be that you've got to add in the time for each shield generator that 4 minute.
What, a whole minute?
Still.
It's still less time total. It's 4 minutes to flip a single point base, 7 minutes to flip a multi-point base. Honestly, I don't think anyone's going to get to those points.
I don't think they will either, but we didn't think anybody was going to take a full base.
After the first, I kind of thought someone might take a base, but then after the first half, I was like, well, that's not happening of this last week. But so basically, you're going to get 2 points for those. You're going to get 1 point for capturing a single point base that's not Alpha or Omega. And I think we're going to use the whole map because it's 48v48 rather than 2 lanes. And I think 24v24, the whole map would be good too. You'll see a lot more movement, a lot more large pushes on one base to secure that base, maybe risking losing another base that's worth less to get a base that's worth more. And there might be a bit more strategy and a little more play into that. So I'm interested to see how it works out. We did talk to Malorn this week, and we're trying to work on a pen and paper, essentially, system of ticks that's going to be a bit more complicated. We need some more resources to watch things to make it even more fair. Because right now I can tell you there's obvious flaws in the system, but we want to see how it plays out before we make things more complicated.
Yeah, really, what you want to distill it down to everybody is we're going now towards a territory control system and not so much a point control system anymore, a capture point control system anymore.
Yeah, and we had discussed at the end of the round, at the end of the half, how much territory is controlled, there's points. But we didn't want it to be boring and seemingly meaningless without moments of excitement throughout. But we also kind of agree with people that timed pushes, when there isn't a central view of time that both outfits can watch, are kind of like if you're more aware. Well, I agree, if you're more aware, you deserve to win. But it is kind of lame at the same time where Rage Quit could push multiple points at once, control them, and then immediately lose them. But they got them at the right time, so they got the points. So, and which is how basically it resulted in Sturmgrenadiers taking the base. Rage Quit would take points at the clash point, but then lose them. But it didn't matter because they had already gotten the points towards the victory. And that's something that we want to try and fix over time, but keeping it simple this week will help us. I think the thought behind keeping it simple this week, despite obvious flaws, I'm not going to say what those flaws are, but there's obvious flaws. We've already thought of them, so don't yell at us. But is we want to see how it plays out, and then based on how it plays out will help us make those rules better, rather than trying to make some complicated system and it not working. Am I wrong in saying that?
No.
No, I think you're fine.
But let's just wrap up Community Clash discussion for the week. Just saying, we're going to have 48v48 this week. TR, represented by Total Recoil, and Mercenaries versus VS, represented by No Nonsense Gaming and the Great White Whales. Tune in Wednesday, 8 CST, and watch a great battle on the Nexus.
Full map, baby. It'll be good.
Yep. Okay. On to the good, the bad, and the OP.
Have another drink on me, soldier.
Okay, thank you kindly.
If you can look hard enough past all the death and all the sorrow, there are good things. You must remember that we will overcome. The good, the bad, and the overpowered.
Seeing as this is our anniversary episode, we're going to do a little bit something different here for you guys for the good and the bad and the OP. We are going to talk about our favorite thing from this last year of podcasts. Mine was our interview with Timo Was Taken and editing all of the...
Still can't say it correctly. It's Timo.
I know. No. I have an imaginary guy, and then I have Timo.
Oh,
this is my
imaginary guy.
This is my imaginary friend. So, interview with Timo Was Taken. Timo. And
you like that little yordle shit, don't you?
I do. It's pretty funny. And editing those wonderful T-Ray interviews. The longest editing I've had for any show we've done, period. Every T-Ray time. Thanks, T-Ray. On a more serious note, I had an absolute blast meeting some of our fans at SOE Live, and just the PS2 community in general have been one of the more kind and reinforcing communities of games that I've worked with in the past. Yeah, some of you guys are douchebags, but majority of you guys are as kind as can be, and I really appreciate everything you've done for us, helping the community in general, helping the game grow. And we don't get paid for this stuff. We do this stuff for free, and we enjoy helping you guys out, and we're glad that you guys enjoy stuff like Community Clash and all that. So, yeah, that's it.
Well, I will second that. I was an absolute blast. I had a fantastic time. It was awesome meeting you guys. I think my good that week at that live episode was meeting everybody. So, without going on and reiterating that again, though, I think my favorite was Johnny Level 1 Sniper. That was one of the most fun moments when we were just going on about Johnny Level 1 Sniper being this noob player, and then someone said that he had given money to SOE so that he's not worthless, and I was like, damn it, I don't have an argument to that. But then it was said that Johnny Level 1 Sniper is a hacker, and I was like, well, regardless of whether he gives money to SOE or not, he is worthless and detriment to the community.
And don't forget,
that was just Johnny Level 1 Sniper was awesome. He had a hashtag and everything.
he spawned players in the game named Johnny Level 1 Sniper.
Well, multiple fans came and made Johnny Level 1 Snipers and played with us in the very beginning iterations of Community Clash, where we were just playing with people. We'd make random characters on the server and have guys come and join us in the squad or platoon, and that was tons of fun. I mean, I wish I had more time to play the game, because honestly, like those are good times. But I love Community Clash too. So, Johnny Level 1 Sniper.
Johnny Level 1 Sniper is good. All right, so I wanted to pick the ReachCast interview of Matt Higbee, but I already did that in the montage. So I'm going to go sappy, and I apologize for all our listeners in advance. But really, my favorite moment in the past year was running into Rack Habit at PAX East, who was wearing a ReachCast t-shirt. And if you guys remember from the show where I talked about that, it actually blew my mind that a listener would A, purchase one of our t-shirts, and B, wear it to a public event. So
that was the first time any of us ran into someone.
Yeah, and I was blown away by it, and it still stuck with me. You know, I don't want to say that's when I knew I made it, because I didn't. I never made it.
There's Derringer the Papa set.
But it was a very good moment, and I will remember it for a while. So, big props to Rack Habit, and I'm sorry for being a sap.
All right, ReachCast mailbag.
Oh, it's a perfect morning. Great timing. The mailman's just coming.
Morning. It's the mail. Big bag.
He must be ready to get away. Very strange. What's the sticking sound? Going to take a look here in this bag of mail. Oh no!
Now you just open the ReachCast mailbag.
Alrighty, we have a couple part 2 calls from last week. The first one is from Ginger, and here's the second part of his call.
Hey guys, first part of my call, this is Ginger by the way. First part of my call is to the voicemail limit, so I'm going to go on from about a 3/4 point if you choose to podcast. You probably have to split it up. Or actually, maybe it's not transition, so here we go. The reverse maneuver isn't OP. It's simply the way Flight and Defense Type 2 is meant to be played. Criticizing the reverse maneuver for being overpowered is like criticizing an infiltrator for hard scoping. In either case, both people need to do these things to be successful and aren't going to have an easy time without making use of them when needed. The only difference is that unlike scoping in, the reverse maneuver is significantly harder for new players to learn how to do, which means that the reverse maneuver itself isn't the problem. The learning curve is. People don't fly because they don't want to put the time or effort into learning to understand Benefit 2 flight, and this is for 2 pretty good reasons. First, they can't have a full ESS because they have to wait 15 minutes between each one, and since they're still new, they lose the ESS within a minute of takeoff. And second, there's nothing in the game that actually teaches them how the hover combat meta works. They have to go to YouTube or outfit training. But in both scenarios, the reverse maneuver itself isn't the problem. The learning curve for ESS flight is. So thanks for listening, everyone, and I hope to see you in the air sometime. Preferably in a Reaver on Connery, please.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, Reaver, Connery, and C.
Enjoyed the sad please at the end.
Please,
there.
please. Yeah, I will be playing more NC soon.
I just used my scythe. I actually just bought the ejector seat for it, so I can get to places even faster now.
The ejector seat.
Now you can bail without dying.
That's the only reason I bought it.
She's gonna love you.
It's your transportation. Like, oh, I'm here. Boop, I'm out.
Exactly.
Flies off into the distance. All right. And the second part of the call from Mono last week.
Hey guys, it's Mono. Now that I got a couple things off my chest, I can talk, like an average, normal human being, and tell you about something I want to, bring to light. I started a thread over in the Planetside universe on the new player section, and the thread is simply a list at the moment of individuals that play the game, that know a little bit about the game, that know more than the average everyday player. And this list is for those people that are brand new to the game, to find someone on their server and contact them and learn the ropes with them. You know, you would join an outfit or join a squad with them and just play through the game. Teach them, you know, just some things. And it's about having that one-on-one interaction and, you know, really establishing what it means to be part of an MMO FPS. You know, these people don't understand when they come into this game that it's not, you know, your average Call of Duty. It's not your average any type of first-person shooter where everyone's just yelling at each other and being stupid. It's about a community, about working together that makes this game special. All right? So if you could just spread that word, anyone that's interested, again, go to planetsideuniverse.com, go to the new players section in the forum. It's a low traffic part of the forum, but, you know, hopefully this brings it to light. All right. Thanks, guys. Take it easy. Bye.
It's a really good idea. Like a little person to walk along with you and show you the game. I think that's a lot of the problem people have right now. They don't know some of the early stuff in the game.
I think we talked
cool
about
idea.
that.
We did, and I think Maggie even said that they're looking at doing that. So I guess
we
it's
should call Mono out for stealing an idea from Derringer instead of Derringer stealing ideas from other people now.
Didn't he steal this one from somebody else?
I don't know. I just wanted to give him trouble.
I don't care who originated it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I do too. Regardless of who first came up with the thought, it's
my idea first. It's my idea.
No, it's mine! Mine!
I know it's not mine.
All right.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sure. All right, let's get to the emails.
All right, yep. I got the first email, and I'm going to read this one word for word. Simply because of it's addressing another listener.
It's addressing the call that we just heard.
It is. This is from Nitro, addressing Ginger879. And he says, Ginger879 has presented a great counter-argument. I would like to stress to him that I was mainly arguing for what SOE stated they were trying to do by changing the reverse maneuver. Granted, I did get a bit caught up in addressing myself as SOE's image of better flight mechanic. However, I will gladly make my own rebuttal for Ginger, even if I technically did debate myself in the last speech. In traditional style of debate, we each would have one more speech to give. Be ready. It's coming.
It's a warning if I ever heard one.
I know. We're going to get another, like, now.
Get ready for a 20-minute phone call.
This is going to be a 3-part call instead of 2. I know Torx doesn't like that idea.
Your rebuttal needs to be 60 words or less.
Your rebuttal needs to be under 2 minutes.
I can't wait till, like...
We're going presidential style on this, alright? There's a timer. You only get 2 minutes. We're not going to play the rest of it.
Torx is just going to cut it off and say, thank you.
Can't wait till the...
Thank you, Ginger. And moving on to...
Thank you, Nitro.
Nitro.
Can't wait till we...
Moving on to Ginger.
Can't wait till we start the shows. Like, this is the ReachCast show, episode 53, and now on to player calls for the rest of the hour. And we're done.
We don't even have to do a show.
Yeah. So you guys just call on for half an hour apiece. Yeah.
Ginger, did you know that?
We're gonna have a half an hour versus half an hour debate between Ginger and Nitro, and the show's over. Good night, guys. All right.
See you next time.
Actually, I'm looking forward to hearing Nitro's rebuttal to this. So
instead of an interview, we just have a debate.
It's a debate of like player calls versus each other.
Yeah.
No, you're dumb. No, you're dumb.
Like hop on to Skype with us.
That actually would be. That's a great idea. You guys want to debate? Just hit us up. We'll do a PlanetSide 2 debate forum. That'd be great.
All right. More things onto our timetable.
Let's just add hundreds of shows. It'd be great.
We have 10 days a week. People don't know it, but we know how to time travel.
I wish.
Next email.
All right, next email is from Cavert. He says, in my opinion, esports do not fit well with PlanetSide 2. Esport games that do well typically have a low player count, and PlanetSide 2 is all about size. From my gaming experience, it can be hard to coordinate 10 people, harder to do 25 people, and very hard to get 40 people dedicated to play at certain times on certain days. Hello, WoW Raiders.
I was going to say, this guy is WoW all the way. 10, 25, and 40.
Now take 48 people, and you will need to have 10 to 15 subs for a total of 63 people on hand, and you have a very hard thing to do. Top that off, and most smaller outfits like mine have trouble getting more than 3 squads up at any one time, despite we have a fairly large active member pool. At least with the current goal of 48 players, there will be a very small amount of outfits that are even able to participate even if they wanted to. Thanks for doing the show. Yeah. You know, and
Yeah.
Everything that he just
48 is 4 outfits.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing, and I expect we even posted this on Reddit, did we not? And a lot of people said that they expect this is the only way that MLG will be able to succeed because you'll need multiple outfits banding together, or someone said forming quote unquote clubs to play MLG.
I like it.
The thing about that though is, so who's going to get the money then?
Well,
if you're going to have like, there's whatever, we'll figure it out. We don't even know.
Money, in-game items should be sufficient or enough reason for players to play. Players should not be going to the very first MLG of an unproven game expecting to win money. I'm sorry, but if you are a player playing an esport game its very first time as an esport, you are an asshole if you expect to win money. I'm serious. Because not a single esport ever started off winning money at the very first competitive event.
Yeah, I can see your argument.
Win money your first event, go F yourself. I'm sorry.
Whoa, easy there, Hoss. All right, chill out.
Stop giving Torque more stuff to edit.
Seriously, though. No.
I get your argument, but good lord, just cool down. Just take it down a notch.
You know what's funny about Cavert's whole email here, though? This is the exact same discussion that we had when you guys were driving back from MLG Dallas. Did we not?
We had it on the phone, yeah, you're right.
We had this discussion on the phone as you guys were driving back, pretty much talking about the exact same points that he talked about. So, Cavert, get out of our minds.
Honestly,
listening to our phone calls. So.
They're going to field, if there's going to be 48 players and they're sticking with it, they're going to have to allow outfit banding. Otherwise, it's going to be the same 4 to 6 teams every MLG. The only ones that can have 48 players actively show up.
And I would imagine they'd be wealthy people, too, because who's going to be able to afford
to
even get out there?
Actually go to MLG, remember? Yeah. But still.
We'll see how it plays out. There's a lot yet to be seen about how the MLG scene of PS2 is going to work out. I don't know. My biggest concern out of everything, out of the little details and the big details, is teams being able to field consistently 48 people for each event. But maybe there's some solution that SOE has going forward that they can, like I said, team up multiple outfits. We'll see. I'm going to go right to the thank yous, since we don't know jack about MLG anyways, and we're all speculating. The thank you to A Threat to You, Sledge Crusher, Rahbib, Kalista, Bobby Shafto, Sunrock, Timo was taken. Timo is the real way to say that. I don't care what he says. B Postal, Grey Frog, Nusif, Raffle Sky, Stu, Chip M. Hazard, Hallure, I guess. Root Hade, Cammy Camera, Tatwee, Emperor Newt, Crans, Torin, Pine Tree Road 930, The Fencer O, a Battle Donkey. Nice.